Hey, welcome to Papa's Custom Cars. It is Sunday morning, but the only thing I've got to do with the Nova is, as I was pulling the tie rods apart, one of the bolts on the tie rod going through the inner tie rod, it got messed up, meaning the bolt got messed up. So I got to deal with that. So that and a bunch of little tiny projects here around in the garage. Christmas just came and went, so my kids are really good at giving me garage art, I guess you call it, neon signs and that kind of fun stuff. So I got to put all those in. I bought a paper towel dispenser, one of the ones you see in every generic bathroom that is automatic when you wave your hand on it. So I got to get that installed. And then I've got a bunch of lights that are out throughout the garage that I've got to get changed. You'll notice that a lot of the video, like you can see the line right up in this area here, because there's lights missing in some of the bulbs. I have diffusers on all of them so that you don't get that bright fluorescent thing going. And with that, it causes these shadows. So I've got to get these lights fixed. So pretty much that's what we're going to be doing today. The Nova really is nothing but cleanup, and I'll throw a video on. I've got to finish taking some things apart, and I'll video that too. But that's what we've got to get done today. So let's get to it. So a few of the things I want to touch on here real quick. For those that don't know, these are old school fluorescent light fixtures, and they've been converted over to LED. And what's really nice about the LED is A, it uses a heck of a lot less energy, but B, you have less parts to break. Now, they say these LED bulbs are supposed to last, 10 million hours or something. And I got news for you. These have been in a little over a year, and 2 of them have already gone out. To convert one of these to LED, you remove the ballast and then you direct wire your hots to one or both sides of the light fixture. Now here's where the problem comes in. Under normal circumstances, electrical contractors and everybody are on the same page about everything. And when it comes to LED bulbs, they're definitely not. Some of them power from one side, some of them power from both sides. Some of them power half from one side, half from the other. It's kind of ridiculous across the board. So when you're doing it, pay attention to the style of light you put in. It's been so long, I don't remember what I've got up in here. And I've got some that I bought at auction, as you all know, that are powered from one side or powered from both sides. So I've got to take one of these out to find out which is which. And I'm going to start with these 2 here because neither one of these is lighting at all. Like I said, they say that they last forever, 10,000 hours or whatever it is, and I know I don't have that on them. So you got to be careful of what brand or what have you. Now these LEDs, you may not want to use, like say in your garage or home, because they're individual lamps. There's about a bazillion of them up here. Whereas other types, like this one that I've got, I'm gonna grab it. Like this one, for example, has the cover on it. And that cover basically diffuses the light a little bit. Now I've got diffusers in these lamps, so I really don't have to do that. But I've noticed that with these diffusers, I get shadows in my garage. So the only way to stop the shadows from happening is add more lighting. Well, I'm not going to add more lighting. I'm probably going to pull the diffusers off completely, and that way it lights a lot better across the board. Diffusers are nice. I've got the set that I put in the kitchen have diffusers on them, and those work great because the kitchen doesn't need to be as bright as your garage does. You're not trying to see everything. But like, for example, this one light just being lit, I have a line down at about 4 feet across my garage up here because these other 2 lights are out. It's not lighting everything up equally. Whereas if I have the diffuser off, that wouldn't be there. So let's pull this off and let's try to figure out what type of bulb we have. I've got one of each here, so we'll see what happens. What I don't use, I'll sell. You know, I got them relatively cheap, so open these up. So there's usually 2 little clips, or spring-loaded clips. I just have to find them. Here's one. Just swing it down out of the way. Like I said, the diffusers are coming off. They're just not doing what I need them to do. So for in the garage, they're not handy. They're relatively easy to get off most of the time. This one appears to be a little bit bent. So voila, the diffusers are off. And it's a great idea. If you've got plenty of lighting, these diffusers work really well. But in a commercial environment, you really don't need them. And then you've got your LED bulbs. And as I was saying before, oh, look at that one. Tried to light. I'm wondering if there's an issue with the wiring, which is a possibility. You never know. Till you know. See, there doesn't appear to be any issues with the LEDs at all, so I'm betting it's the wiring come loose or something of that nature. And by looking at these, we've got power plugs at both ends, so these are wired on both sides. So the next thing I want to do is go in and see what's going on with these tombstones, that's what they call them, and see if we've got an issue there. Because this one just lit for a split second, as you saw, so. One of the nice things about these lights is you don't have the glass to worry about breaking and shattering all over your floor. These are all made of ABS plastic, so you don't have any issues like you do with fluorescent bulbs. Oh. Plastic cap's got to come off. There's a retaining cap. Oh, there it is. Making it bigger. Say goodbye to the retaining cap. It added about a ½ inch to it, so that didn't help any. You're trying to put your bulbs in. Yeah, see, it's definitely the wiring. There's an issue somewhere. So we're going to have to pull apart this light and figure out what's going on with it. Relatively easy to do, but it looks like there's a loose connection somewhere. These tombstones do go bad. I've got a whole box of them. So just the maintenance required. That's all I got to do. And then just got to be careful because these are live. I wouldn't suggest doing this with them live. On you. There we go. Standard nut driver. First things first, we got to kill the power. Let's go ahead and flip it back on. And let's try the bulb again. Okay, still not getting anything. I'm curious if there's an issue with the tombstones. Before we disconnect and start trying stuff. Let's grab one of the old bulbs. There we go. Yeah, see, we're getting an issue with power. So the only way to fix it is going to be to take down the little mechanism that blocks the tombstones. And we're not going to get into that because I would rather just pull the whole light down and fix it like that as opposed to playing with this stuff. Because if we're going to pull it down, we're going to replace tombstones. We can replace them all, and I bought them with that full intention. But that's going to be a project we do when we have a light. We don't have to take down the whole garage lighting to get it done. It'd be nice if you could see in there without messing with all this stuff. So let's put that cover back in place. Looks like we're gonna have to mess with it later. And this one anyway. Now, the curiosity is, can I put this up with the bulbs in place? No, I cannot. I can already see that. All right, well, let's go on to the next project, shall we? Put this bulb back in its box. Leave that diffuser off because we can see now. It's lit up the garage a lot more.